Anyone that tells you to not get a 9 to 5 is just an idiot. It seems to be these online gurus' favorite statement. I would not be in the position I am without having previously had a 9 to 5. You're over the age of 18, maybe even 16, 17, and you have no money to your name. You have nothing going for yourself. You think you can just press a few keys on your keypad, just spawn bread, you're tapped. These gurus, what they don't tell you is it's actually quite hard to make online money. It takes years before you actually become somewhat comfortable and be able to actually replace that 9 to 5 money. It's not as simple as just clicking a button, or it's not as simple as just starting a business and all of a sudden you're going to be making thousands. It's not like that.
I love this message. So in a nutshell, I totally agree with what he's saying. When you've got no money, nothing to your name, a 9 to 5 job is actually where you do start. But obviously now that I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, the one thing that I learned from reading that book is work to learn, don't work to earn. Obviously when you are young, the only thing you can offer is time, and you have not developed skills like learning how to sell, learning how to communicate. And obviously this video is a bit long. He does speak about how having a 9 to 5 job teaches you discipline, waking from 9 till 5. I remember when I was a lot younger as well, one thing that did disrupt my consciousness is that I was already selling at the age of 14, 15 years old at school, but I questioned everything because they stopped me from selling at school even though I was making money. And I then started asking myself, like, don't we go to school to learn about money? And they were just trying to get me more of being a person that obeys and all of that. So when I give my tip on what he's saying, I totally agree, simply because I see that it's the best way for most people to do it. I just can't do it. I have worked a 9 to 5 before, but what it taught me is how to work so hard that I don't have a 9 to 5 anymore. And my 9 to 5 was actually insurance. I used to sell insurance, and that's actually where I learned a little bit of my foundation of selling in terms of a communication aspect. I used to sell sweets when I was in high school. I used to sell merch when I was still staying at my mom's house before I even got to arbitrage a vendor that offered me products and services that I could provide. But he is totally correct. If you've got nothing to your name and you're still young, work to learn, don't work to earn, because eventually you're going to get to a point where you start understanding that you use your 9 to 5 to fund your 5 to 9 so that you then eventually fund your 24/7.